Hey guys, and welcome to today's video, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing a review on the Foxwell GT90 Plus scan tool. This is a scan tool that I purchased myself. It is just a light vehicle scan tool. So the few things that we're going to do in this video, the first thing is we're going to get the scan tool out, we're going to have a look at the box that it comes in, we're going to have a look at all the different adapters, plugs and bits and pieces that the scan tool actually comes with. Then we're going to turn the scan tool on, we'll go through and just show you sort of how it all works. Then we're going to use the vehicle that I've got behind me, which is a 2008 BMW X5. We're going to plug the scan tool in. We're going to go through the live data that you can pull out of the vehicle, the special functions that the scan tool allows you to do with this specific vehicle. Note that the special functions and some of the data will vary from model to model, but we're just going to use this one as an example because BMWs can be a little bit of a difficult thing to pull data out of sometimes. And then we're going to just do a bit of a check through of some of the other bits and pieces the scan tool can do, and I'll just give you a bit of an overview and a bit of a sort of explanation as to what some of those things are for. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the scan tool, I'm going to get the box out, and we're going to have a bit of a look and see what it comes with, all the adapters, bits and pieces like that. So I'll grab it now and we'll have a bit of a look. Okay, so this here is our case that our scan tool comes in. It's a very heavy duty, thick plastic case, so very strong, and it does hold everything in there for the scan tool quite well. So not too much to show on the outside, so we undo our latches on these two sides here, we open it up, and inside the first thing you'll notice is this here. This is our tablet for our scan tool, so that holds the software that you would use to connect to the vehicle. You see this little box here. So this is the box that allows connection between the car. So on this side you've got your OBD2 plug, on this side you've got your USB plug that plugs into your scan tool. Down under here we've just got another adapter. Underneath here we have got our USB cable that operates, plugs into here. So you've just got that in there, so that plugs into the box like that. And then you've got this end, obviously USB end, that plugs into your tablet. If we take the tablet out, underneath our tablet we have got our PowerPoint charger, or our charger for our tablet. So basically the tablet is just a Panasonic toughpad, so it just runs, I believe this one runs Windows 8. So you can use it as a normal computer as well, so you can put Microsoft Word, you can put Excel, you can put anything like that on the tablet that you want. You can even go on Facebook and Google if you want to, as long as you've got internet connection. Down under here, so underneath our charger, we have our operator's manual for our scan tool, plus a few other bits and pieces just in relation to your software and bits and pieces like that, you know, registering the product and everything like that. Does come with just a little protective bag for the tablet to go into. I just like to keep it in there just to help keep it from getting scratched and bits and pieces. The tablet itself does have a screen protector on it, so that is one good thing there if you're worried about getting scratches in it. In the other side here, so if we open up these two panels, these have got nice little locks in there to sort of hold it all together and keep it neat and tidy. So if we open up these, it might be a bit hard to sort of see in the camera there, but I'll turn it around in a second. So inside here, we'll just turn it around so you can see it a bit better. We have got all of our plugs. So you've got all of your different plugs for all your different vehicles. So like this one here, for example, you've got the older style BMW plug, which you would use instead of your just standard OBD2 plug. You've got various plugs for various other makes and models. This lead here is for your OBD2 connection. So this plugs into this box over here and then plugs into your vehicle. Inside this bag, you've got a various assortment of other plugs and bits and pieces like that. You've got some battery connections and stuff there as well for a cigarette lighter, charger for the tablet. You've also got various other plugs and bits and pieces in there as well for all sorts of different makes and models and different kinds of testing that you want to be doing. The main thing with this that obviously we're going to be using today is just our OBD2 plug, being a 2008 BMW. It's just a standard OBD2 plug, so we won't need to be using any of these. But if you do run a workshop where you're working on older vehicles, definitely a handy thing to have, yeah, especially if you are working on older vehicles. Or there is also some plugs in there for some American-made vehicles as well, so your Chevy, Ford, and all that sort of stuff as well. Some of these plugs, so there's a plug in here that is for older high-no trucks as well. So with this scan tool, you can actually buy software for it for heavy vehicles as well. I don't have that on this one. I've only got the software for light vehicles on here at the moment. So what we're going to do is, that's the basic overview of the kit. So it's a really good little kit. It's a really, really strong, neat case that it all comes in as well for keeping everything safe and secure. The case does have this little hole in either side, so if you wanted to, you could certainly lock the case as well, put a little padlock on it or something like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out that. We'll take our tablet out of the case. If you do want to have a little bit more of a look as to what type of plugs for older vehicles that this case actually comes with, go onto the Foxwell website and search GT90 Plus, and that will go through and it will explain what all of these different plugs and bits and pieces do in this kit. One thing as well is there's two different scan tools for the GT90. So for the GT90, you've got your standard GT90, which is just the scan tool and your OBD2 connection. This kit is the GT90 Plus, so that comes with all your extra bits and pieces as well for your older model cars and your American-made cars. Okay, so one thing I'm going to do just quickly before we plug the scan tool into the vehicle and we get going is I'm just going to show you really quickly how you connect all this up to the tablet. So basically we've got our little box here with our USB cable. So in the side of the tablet there, you've got this little cover which you would take off, and your USB port is down in there. You've also got here as well, you've got a headphone jack and your HDMI port. So if you wanted to plug this into a television or a second screen, you've got your HDMI port in there to do that. On the back side of the tablet, we've got this really, really cool little handle for it. So basically you can just slide your hand up in there like that, hold the tablet. That allows the tablet to spin around as well if you need to show somebody something. Really strong. This tablet's certainly not going to go anywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to then connect our OBD2 lead to our box. So in the end of the box there, we've got that little plug. So that just plugs in there like that. Wind the screws up so that the plug can't come out. And then all we do here is we plug our USB cable into our tablet, like so. And we press our power button and everything turns on. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now quickly as well is we're just going to do a basic overview of the app before we plug it into a car. So when you first turn the tablet on, this is the first thing you're going to see, which is just your desktop screen. You've then got your GT90 icon up in the top left corner there. So you just click on that and then that opens up the Foxwell program that allows you to communicate with your vehicle. So when you open up your application, this is what you're going to see. So on the left hand side here, you've got diagnostic. So that just allows you to connect to the car and look up all your diagnostic information. You've got maintenance up the top there, which is what allows you to do things like for European cars like this BMW, when you put a new battery in it, you need to register the new battery. So if you go into maintenance, give it a second for it to open. This is all your options for maintenance. So registering different tyre sizes, you've got electronic park brake programming, it's DPF, so for doing like DPF burns and things like that. ABS, all this sort of stuff. You can code injectors with it, so you click on here and then it allows you to actually code injectors and all that various sort of stuff. Again, if you want more specific information on all of these functions and what they do and what you can actually do with this scan tool, go on to the Foxwell website and do a little bit of research. It's fantastic with a scan tool like this that you're able to do all of this sort of stuff. With this as well, you can program new keys and everything for the vehicle as well. So it's got all, you can do all your security stuff. You can do key programming, you can do injector coding, you can do battery registrations, you can do like gearbox and transmission calibrations, all that sort of stuff as well, which is fantastic to be able to do with a scan tool that is of this value. It is really, really, really impressive that it can do all this stuff as well. Okay, so now that we're back on the main screen, so we've got a few other things as well. We've got video scope, which from Foxwell you can also buy extra bits and pieces from them as well. So you can buy a video scope, which allows you to use the video scope with your scan tool. you can buy leads and bits and pieces as well to use the oscilloscope with it. So if we click on oscilloscope, okay, so because I don't have the leads for the oscilloscope, it's not picking it up. So what I can do is I can actually go run in demo. It tells me that some functions can't be used in demo mode. So this is basically a demo oscilloscope. If you buy the extra equipment from Foxwell to use the oscilloscope, this would be an amazingly handy piece of equipment for any automotive workshop. I obviously don't have the connections to use the oscilloscope properly, so I can't sit down and explain to you and show you how to set it up and how it all operates. Again, if you go onto the Foxwell website, they do have videos explaining how the oscilloscope works and all the features that it allows you to use for testing. Okay, so a couple of other quick things is here is you've got the tutorials menu, so that shows you how to use and how to operate all the different parts of the scan tools. There is some really handy information in there. You've also got VCI Manager, which allows connection of a Bluetooth, basically a Bluetooth version of this, so that you can have the scan tool actually disconnected, so no leads or anything in the side of it. You can walk around the vehicle and you can do your actuation tests outside the vehicle without having to run cables and bits and pieces around the vehicle. So we've also got Data Manager as well. So in Data Manager, this is where all of your previously held information would be. So say if you had done taken a screenshot of a bit of diagnostic information or a fault code or anything like that, you can save it all in this Data Manager section. So if I go Image and I click on that, this is just some live data that I saved out of, it was actually the BMW that we've got here. So this is just coolant temperature, ambient temperature, fuel temperature, battery voltage, alternator load, all those bits and pieces as well. So you can save all of this diagnostic information and it holds it on the app. When you're done, you can delete it, you can print it, you can email it, you can do virtually anything you want with it. Okay, so I think the next thing to do is to actually plug this into the car, and I'll give you a bit of a demo on how it all works. Okay, so we've got our scan tool plugged into the OBD port in the BMW here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press diagnostic. I'm going to go Europe. I'll just try and get that up there a bit better so that you can see it. So when you click on European models, that's all the models that it comes up with there. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select BMW Global. We're going to press start. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn the ignition on. So I'll get our key here, turn the ignition on. The car's going to beep at me and do all sorts of stuff. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go Smart VIN. So basically your two options here on the screen, you've got Smart VIN and Manual Selection. So what this lets us do is if you press Smart VIN, the scan tool will automatically pick up the car and it will know exactly what it's talking to and it'll know exactly what information it needs to try and get from the vehicle. So I'll press Smart VIN, it'll read the VIN number, it's come up, it's detected the VIN number for the vehicle, you press OK. It then tells you exactly what sort of vehicle it is. So BMW X5 E70 2008, and it's got the vehicle ID number and everything as well. So you confirm that all the details and everything are correct. You then press yes. It'll just take a little second to load as it pulls all the data out. So then it comes up, says please wait, reading data. Okay, so now the scan tool is connected to the vehicle. It took it about 30 seconds to connect to the vehicle and pull all the information out of it that it could. So it's now given us 4 options. So we've got diagnosis, service, special functions, and advanced functions. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into diagnosis. I'm going to do a quick scan. So what this will do is this will go through the vehicle and it will scan all of the different computers in the vehicle, all the different modules in the vehicle, and it will tell you, basically it'll tell you what the system name is, and then it'll tell you what the condition the system's in, whether it's fine and there's no issue or whether it believes that there's a fault, and then once it's gone through and it's finished scanning everything, it will actually tell you what all the faults are. So we'll let it do this. This will take about a minute or so. Okay, so it's been about a minute and the scan tool has gone through all the different modules in the vehicle, scanned them all and checked to see if there's any faults. Now, because this is a BMW, there's lots of faults. So we can see car access system here. We go down, we got fault 1 is a CAN bus communication error fault. Then we've got our diesel particulate filter system, and that has got 8 faults. So we've got a diesel particulate filter system failure, glow plug cylinder 1 activation, glow plug cylinder 2 activation, glow plug cylinder 3 activation, and so on. And we've also got BSD communication with glow control unit. So because this vehicle has, let's say, been modified, we're going to ignore those ones. Here we've got transmission control unit. So transmission control unit is saying that there is a pass and there is no fault. So I'm just going to quickly show you what this screen looks like. If I can get it to sort of focus in there. So there you can see your systems, and there you can see, because it's a BMW, it's got lots of faults. So pretty much you can go through, you just press the little down arrow next to the fault, and then it allows you to read the code. So you've got your fault code on that side, and then it allows you to read the fault description. What you can do is you can actually click on these. It'll bring up the information. You can read codes. You can click on the code, and you can go freeze frame. What this does is this tells you some details. So this tells you when the code initially was activated, how many kilometers it was done, the amount of times the fault code has actually presented in the vehicle. So this fault code here, which is the interlock system faulty, which is something to do with the gear lever. If I click on that and go freeze frame, it tells me that that fault code has presented itself 3 times. The first time it did it was 271,000 kilometers, and the last time it did it was 273,000 kilometers. So this fault code presented itself only 100 kilometers ago, which means that there's still an active fault with the vehicle. This sort of information is really handy in diagnosing faults with vehicles. This is a really good indication, because if you've had one fault and it occurred 20,000 kilometers ago, there's a good chance that it might have just been the car having a little bit of a moment and it's nothing further to worry about. If it's a fault code that's happened 100 times and it was last happened 10 k's ago, then we know that there's a fault remaining with the vehicle. Okay, so that gives you a little bit of an overview on how good this thing is at reading fault codes. One other thing that I'll quickly tell you as well is when you click on a fault code, you can actually click on the fault code number, so the code itself. What that will do is that will then take you to a Google link, and it will try and get you the best results for that fault code. So it will provide the vehicle make and model in Google search and the code. So it's just a bit quicker than actually physically going into Google yourself and typing it out. You just click on the fault code and it opens the page up, and then you can have a bit of a look and have a bit of a read and see if you can figure out what's causing the fault. So another thing as well, other than doing the quick scan, if you just want to quickly go, you know it's an engine fault and you want to just have a look at the engine, you can actually select control modules. You can select engine and you can just pull the information for that module. Okay, so there's a few other options. So we'll go back out to our diagnosis and service, special function and advanced function screen. Next one we're going to click on is service. So what this gives us is this gives us some of those service items, like I said before, as far as like getting the vehicle to do a DPF burn, or programming keys, calibrating gearboxes and bits and pieces like that. So this lets us do a little bit of stuff on this particular model. Again, like I said, models will vary on what they allow you to do. BMW is pretty good in the sense that they actually do allow you to do a fair bit. So they allow you to do gearbox calibrations, and the car's now getting grumpy at me because I've had the ignition on for too long. So I'm just going to turn it off, because it's getting a little bit upset at me now. So that gives you a really good idea. So this allows you to do gearbox calibrations. It allows you to force the vehicle to do a DPF burn. It allows you to code and program keys. On advanced functions, it allows you to actually control all of the vehicle services. So you can turn every single light on the exterior of the vehicle on by itself. It allows you to control the window wipers, the rear window wipers, the window washer activation and everything like that as well. It allows you to individually control each window, the mirrors, everything like that. The amount that you can do with this particular vehicle with this scan tool is amazing. You can control virtually everything in the car via the computer. One thing I don't have, but I'm certainly going to get, is the Bluetooth dongle that comes with this tablet. So then you can basically have a bit of a Frankenstein car, and you can control it essentially remotely. So With this scan tool, you could basically be standing at the front of the vehicle and you can turn every individual light on. So you can turn your park light on, then your headlight, then your indicator. When you're doing servicing and bits and pieces like that by yourself, that's really handy to be able to make sure that every single different part of the vehicle is working as it should, especially being able to do it from outside of the vehicle with no cables and no connections and everything as well. The special functions that this allows you to do is very, very impressive. The service items that it allows you to do, so battery registrations, bits and pieces like that, is very, very handy. Okay, so that gives you a bit of a basic overview of what this scan tool is capable of doing. It also gives you a bit of an understanding of some of the extra stuff that this scan tool can do. I really like the fact that the scan tool also has the ability, with just buying another kit worth of cables, you can have a completely functioning oscilloscope, a video scope. I like the fact that you can save all of the diagnostic information. You can actually export, if you go in and you do your diagnostic search, so it goes through and shows all your fault codes, you can actually export that into an Excel document or a Word document. You can export it into a PDF. You can just turn it into a photo if that's easier, which is a really good thing, especially if you've got to explain to a customer what's going on with their vehicle. You can actually print that out and hand them the list and go, this is the faults that's wrong with your vehicle. You can also print it out. You can obviously open it up in Google and everything like that. It is a really, really good scan tool. I paid $4,500 for this scan tool, and I brought this scan tool through Mobile Workshop Supplies, which is a local tool supplier here in Hobart, Tasmania. I do believe when I brought it at that price, it was on promo. I think standard retail is sort of more around the $5,000 mark. That amount for a scan tool that can do this much is very, very good. In my next video, I'm probably going to do a review on the Garmin G-Scan 2, which is Garmin's newest U-Butte scan tool. The price difference for that, I believe that scan tool is about $12,000. And for the price difference between the two, well, there's a reason that I chose to buy this one. I believe this scan tool can actually do more than what the Garmin can. The only difference with the Garmin is it is able to do heavy vehicles as well. Overall, the Foxwell scan tool is a brilliant scan tool for how much you pay for it. It can do a lot. It's a very powerful scan tool for the dollar value. It can do a lot of different stuff. It can do pretty much anything that you're going to need to do in a standard automotive workshop. I believe if you were to buy one of these, it is going to be a massive benefit to you. As I said, there's a reason I brought one of these. I did do a fair bit of research on scan tools, sort of what gives you the best bang for your buck, as far as, one to buy for just standard light vehicle automotive applications. And now that I've brought this, I can 100% agree with everything that I read, saying that this was probably the best scan tool that you can buy for light vehicle applications. Okay guys, so that's it for this video. If you guys do want to see any more about the scan tool, if you want me to actually go in depth with some of the different things that you can do, I'm more than happy to do that. Just leave a comment down below. If you do want to see anything more about it, I'm more than happy to do another video on any of the service functions, advanced functions of the scan tool. I'm more than happy to do a video going through all the different bits and pieces in the kit. This video was more or less just an overview of the scan tool and my thoughts on it. My genuine thought on this scan tool is that for a small automotive workshop, it would be absolutely perfect and a very wise purchase. I've used this scan tool heaps, doing diagnostic checks on friends' vehicles and bits and pieces like that, and it's been brilliant. It's been able to do everything that I've asked it to do and then some. And it's provided me with some really, really good information to help diagnose and repair faults with vehicles. Highly recommend this scan tool, especially for the dollar price. Like I said, this scan tool averages between $4,500 to $5,000, depending on where you buy it from. As I said, I purchased this scan tool from Scott at Mobile Workshop Supplies. If you are after good tools or anything like that, I do highly recommend these guys as well. That is who I personally buy all of my tooling from. And they certainly know their stuff and they go above and beyond. I'll link their website down below. But yeah, if you do need anything, if you are based in Tasmania, especially in the Hobart region, go and see Scotty at Mobile Workshop Supplies. He'll be able to help you out with any of this kind of stuff. I also wanted to say a massive thank you to you guys for your support on the last video. I think we're up to about 15,000 views on the last video now on what to look out for when buying a Nissan Navara D40. That is awesome. I started making these videos sort of just expecting them to, you know, get 50 to 100 views sort of thing. I never expected one to get to that much. We're now sitting almost at 250 subscribers as well. Again, when I made this channel and when I started making videos, they were just something for me to do to keep me busy and something that I enjoy doing. But if you guys do enjoy these videos and you want to see more, I'm really going to try and make an effort to get more and more content out. The next one that I'm looking at doing will be my review on the Garmin G-Scan 2. After that, or maybe before that, it depends on what I end up doing, I'm even going to do a what to look out for when buying a X series BMW, specifically on this 2008 X5. There are a few people on my original BMW video, which I do apologise for because it was a long time ago and I don't think that's probably the best quality video. There are a lot of people that were asking for sort of a follow-up or, you know, a different BMW version and things to look out for. So I'm going to go really in depth with this one. I'm going to make it probably about a 30-minute long video on what to do when you look at buying one of these, the things to look out for, and all that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you to you guys for the support on this channel. If you want to see more videos, like I said, press the subscribe button, hit the little bell, turn your notifications on for the next time I upload. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see any more about the scan tool or you have any other video ideas that you'd like to see me do, leave a comment down below. If you have anything that you want to say, chuck a comment down. But yeah, hit the subscribe button, guys, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks. See ya.